Hi, thank you so much for joining us today on our Accesses Luxury or Off the Beaten Path Luxury Experiences in Canada workshop. That's a mouthful. Um, but I'm so excited that you're here and that you're curious about the experiences that can be had in Canada that you probably don't know about yet. And that's what this workshop is about, to show you what lies beneath. Because as it says here, the best places are really the hardest to reach, but they're also the most worth it. So let's dive right in. So, a little bit about myself, so you know who you're talking to today, or who's talking to you, rather. Um, I have been professionally planning really extraordinary and custom trips to Canada for, well, pretty much over 15 years, the last 15 years, in various capacities. I founded Canada Revealed a couple of years ago, just building on that expertise of mine. And I am extremely passionate about Canada's wilderness, specifically about wildlife. I'm an avid hobby wildlife photographer. You'll see some pictures in the presentation that I've taken. I'm a total foodie. I love my wine. I love also sharing all of those hidden wine countries that Canada has to offer. And yeah, do also really like to share the stories from my travels. So, because of this passion and this expertise that I've built over the years, I created Canada Revealed to help people experience the real Canada. And what I mean by that is there are so many hidden places that people just simply don't know about, maybe because they don't have the marketing dollars like, the Canadian Rockies and Niagara Falls, etc., to create that hype and that awareness. There's so much awesomeness to discover in this country. And what I've kind of based the whole concept of Canada Revealed on is rugged luxury. My mission is to get people out there without having to rough it, to get people out into the wilderness and to experience this awe that I feel every single time that that I access these places, but still come back to a curated glass of wine and a gourmet meal and a cozy, comfy lodge. So that is for me, that's what Canada is. That's the essence of Canada. Now, a little bit about my company, Canada Revealed, and I think videos and pictures say a little bit more than words. So I do have a nice little video to share here. Funny, I always have to smile when I see that video because I've seen it a million times, and yet it always puts a smile on my face. It just reminds me of the love of this beautiful country that I have. So just further to this video, I hope that inspired a little bit of wanderlust. Um, Canada Revealed is for the traveler who wants more out of their travels. We specialize in custom travel. Uh, Again, rugged luxury is raw nature and refined comfort put together. So that's the equation right there. We handcraft every single itinerary, and we basically ask you what your passions are, how you want to feel on your trip, and we design a trip that matches exactly that. We very much focus on exclusive experiences, remote lodges, as I said, huge passion and expertise in wildlife, where to go to see what and when. We also have a wonderful collection of epic road trips that can be completely customized to length and um, time frame, but that is a subject for another workshop here. And of course, culinary escapes, also a big passion of mine. One of the main focuses of Canada Revealed is to get people away from the masses. We really are not mass market. Nothing is off the shelf. We customize everything, and we just want it to be, as it says, 100% you. Now, the theme of this workshop presentation today is Access as Luxury and off the beaten path luxury. So, what does that actually mean? Again, a little equation right here. It's exclusive experiences. It's experiences in places that are unreachable by most. I feel like today, in this time of information and social media and hyped up destinations through those mediums, it it's really hard to find those hidden gems anymore that aren't overcrowded, that aren't full of people, taking pictures for Instagram only, and just kind of take away from the essence of a place. And so that's what we really try to focus on. And I feel like access has become the new luxury. So, access to places that are just really difficult to get to unless you know how. Um, and yeah, that's basically what we're all about. Limited spots, short seasons, especially for wildlife viewing. Also, weather can play a huge factor in all of this. And of course, no tour buses. We want people to really kind of feel disconnected in a really, really good way. And so that's why access creates intimacy. It's rare and it's awe inspiring. So I've got a few sample trips here that we feature. Again, most of them completely customizable. But these are just examples of what access as luxury means. This trip is actually one that's quite close to my heart, heli hiking in the Canadian Rockies. I was fortunate enough to do this trip about 7 years ago when I was going through a difficult time in my life. And I have to say that it had such an impact on me, being so removed from everything. It was, it wasn't just a geographical place of solitude and getting courage. It was actually it was a trip that gave me courage to get through the time that I was going through, and it was just a great example of the healing power of nature. um, so on this trip, basically you go to this gorgeous lodge. See the picture in the middle there. It's cozy, it's comfy. You've got 40 to 50 people max at any given time in this lodge, so fairly intimate. And it's away from any civilization, and yet still offers all the creature comforts. And what heli hiking is, it's really just it's not something for just the super fit, or like the mega athletes or anything like that. It's simply um, getting you to trails and terrain that are not reachable in any other way than by helicopter, which means that it's pretty much untouched, and you're actually divvied up into groups according to your fitness and your preference level, your comfort levels. And the walks and hikes can basically be anything from a leisurely stroll through um, alpine meadows, maybe a little dip in an alpine lake, to a little bit more challenging and more elevation gain, and anything in between. So it really depends on everybody's own preferences. And so basically, you have small groups. The group size that you see in the picture on the right there is what you can expect. So, usually about 5 to 7 people or so per helicopter. And it takes you to these absolutely mind blowing, gorgeous places. And then you hike, you walk. You have a beautiful lunch amidst all the solitude and magnitude of nature, and the helicopter picks you up at the end of your journey and takes you back to the lodge where gourmet meals wait for you, massages, hot tubs, all the works. And yeah, it's such a great way to get out into the wilderness without having to give up any creature comforts whatsoever. So this is one example of access is luxury. The next one takes us all the way to the east in Canada, to Newfoundland. This is one of the most rugged and beautiful provinces in Canada, in my opinion. The packages that we feature on our website are all about exclusivity. So we do have helicopters involved here again, but basically, these journeys are privately guided. So just for your group, be it one person all the way to 10 or even more, it depends on who's in your travel party. And we'll actually take you to to explore the highlights of Newfoundland, be that around St. John's in the east, or Fogo Island. You'll see the famous Fogo Island in there on in the top right picture, which is one of the most luxurious lodges actually in Canada, and is quite world renowned. And so you'll fly from St. John's to kind of the center of the island, the north center of the island of Fogo Island, and then to the west to Grossmorn Park National Park, which is just absolutely stunning. And so you actually save a lot of time by traveling by helicopter, and all the experiences in between are completely tailored to your group's interests and preferences. You get behind the scenes experiences with locals, exclusive dinners. Again, these are ungoogleable experiences, and they're really tailored just for you. And along the way, aside from the Fogo Island Inn, you also stay in just these very, very charming upscale boutique properties. No, the middle picture is not a representation of those. This is just one of those typical coastline vistas of Newfoundland. Um, but yeah, Newfoundland locals are known for their hospitality, for their spontaneity, for their joie de vivre, and that's what this trip is really all about. Now, this one it takes you back to the west coast of Canada. So this is Desolation Sound, just on the coast of British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia. And of course, I'm biased because I live here for a reason. This private yacht, private charter, is actually a very, very special trip. And so what this does is it's buyout situation. So it's great for a multi-generational family traveling together or a group of friends. It can take a maximum of 9 people. Usually they try to keep it around 8 people. And it takes you into all those nooks and crannies of the rugged BC coast, and which is basically your playground. You've got all the water toys, you've got kayaks, you've got water slides and trampolines and what have you. And of course, your own private staff that is actually more like family, not really staff. And of course, your private chef, steward, everybody to take care of you for you. Beautiful staterooms, and you design every day the way that you like it. You follow the wildlife. Seeing humpback whales bubble feeding in the summertime is not a rarity. That's actually something that really happens. And yeah, you basically just get your own private floating lodge, and that is a kind of access that is really, really luxurious as well. And yeah, just takes you to places that other people simply cannot get to. And last but not least, this is another trip that is close to my heart. Kayaking in the realm of Wales. This is also here on the coast of British Columbia. Excuse me. Now, this will have a little bit of a higher rugged scale than the luxury scale. So we're always happy to talk through things and make sure that it's a good fit for people. I actually took my 73-year-old dad on this trip. Well, at the time he was 73, and it took him a little bit outside of his comfort zone because wasn't necessarily something that he would have booked himself. He's not a big camper, he's not a big outdoorsy guy. But I tell you, 7 years later, and he is still raving about this trip. He had such a great time, and we got to have some very, very special father-daughter moments and memories on this trip. So what this entails is you're basically transported to a wilderness glamping um, camp, and in the middle you'll see a little bit of a picture there of what the inside of the tent looks like. You have cozy beds, down blankets, duvets, and you literally wake up to the sound of whales. So this camp is located on what they call Humpback Alley, and it really is that. You basically on the right, you'll see a hot tub that you can access anytime, preferably for me with a glass of wine in hand. And you can literally see humpbacks passing to and fro right in front of the hot tub there in that channel. Each day you go out with a guide for paddling. There's always two guides actually per group. So if you've had enough and you don't want to paddle anymore and others do, not a problem. They'll actually take you back. So again, everything very tailored to people's abilities and preferences. And then in the evenings, you get to socialize and share with fellow travelers in that beautiful, what they call a freshwater lounge. You'll see the picture there on the left. Again, over a glass of wine. You see my drift where I'm coming from here, where my priorities lie. They have a wonderful camp kitchen all set up that produces amazing meals that you would never assume would come out of a camp kitchen. Um, and yeah, it's just a wonderful way also just to reconnect with your loved ones, with your friends, and disconnect from busy lives and really, really reconnect with nature here. And I kind of say that at the bottom here, access here isn't just physical, it's also emotional. So this would be my last example of an access is luxury or off the beaten path luxury trip. I do want to, of course, tell you why Canada Reveal. So I hope that I've given you a small taste of my, not just my expertise, but also my passion for experiences that can be had in this beautiful country of ours. And we basically really take care of everything from start to finish. It's stress-free planning. We have a consultation with you. You tell us, what's valuable to you, what's important, and what you're passionate about, the pace that you like, all of those things, and we'll create something really spectacular for you. At select properties and experiences, we also have exclusive access and perks that you wouldn't get anywhere else if you book direct or if you booked, through an online travel agent or the like. So we do very much hone our relationships with our partners to ensure that our guests, that our clients are well taken care of. And of course, a really high level of service. So it's really important to us that you don't just come back raving about your trip, but also about your interactions with us. So really from inquiry to home, we're reliable. We will answer your emails in a timely manner. We pick up the phone, all of those things. We're here to ensure that you have an amazing time on your trip. So, um, the next step, of course, is if this inspired you and you feel like you'd like to create your own off the beaten path luxury adventure, please book your trip consultation. We will take the time, as I said, to do that trip consultation call with you to do a deep dive in what rocks your world, and we'll create that extraordinary trip for you while you just get to sit back and relax and let us do the heavy lifting. So, for joining, thank you as a thank you for joining us on this workshop. We do have an exclusive promo. If you book your trip consultation by noon tomorrow, and that's Friday, April 11th, for any time next week. So that goes up until next Friday, which would be the 18th. You will receive a free night and a VIP experience in your Canadian starting city, wherever that may be, depending on which trip you book. And that will be completely on us, and that's a value of up to $1,000 right there. And all you need to do is book your trip consultation either right now or once you receive the recording. We have a lot of people today who didn't make the live session, but who will be receiving the recording. And all you need to do is book your trip consultation by tomorrow and use the promo code AIL1000. Now, of course, as with everything, there is a little bit of fine print. So I do want to just let people know about that really quickly, that there is a minimum trip spend in place, and that the free night will have to be in the same hotel category as the rest of your trip. And it can't be combined with any other promos, as well as needs to be booked and deposited by May 31st. So I'll just go on full screen here and just thank you so much for joining us today.